It's a very weird day, guys. Tonight might be my last sleep with my tongue tie. I have an intact frenulum. Don't Google intact frenulum without your safe search on. But when each of my daughters was born, it was noted on their newborn scan that they had a tongue tie and an upper lip tie inside their mouths, and it was recommended that I get them revised. So this video is about tongue tie revisions, which is, you guessed it, snip snip. And I'm not just talking about my daughters, I'm talking about mine. My tongue tie is getting evaluated tomorrow, and if they recommend that I get it revised, I'm going to be getting it revised on the spot. In this video, I'm going to talk about all things tongue tie revision. FAQ in general about the procedure. I'm going to talk about why we had our baby's tongue ties revised, signs that I have too tight of a tongue tie, and why I want to revise mine now. Maybe, if it's recommended. Usually I get really excited to film videos, but this is not one that I'm excited for because I'm very, very nervous. This feels really personal, but I feel like at this point I need to show you my tongue tie. I can't do it. Okay. What is a tongue tie? A tongue tie is when your frenulum is too short or too tight, and it limits the mobility of your tongue. There are also other types of oral ties, like lip ties up here, or down here, or cheek ties. Back in the old days, if a midwife noticed a tongue tie, they would just with their fingernail right there when the baby was born. Nowadays, we do it at the doctor with either scissors or a laser. Since the tissue is called a frenulum, the procedure is called a frenectomy. I'm going to talk about the why a little bit more first, and then we'll get more into the FAQs and the logistics of it. Both of my daughters went through a tongue and a lip tie revision within their first couple of weeks of life. Both of them were done by laser. Many infants get revised because of troubles with breastfeeding. They'll have trouble latching, or they'll have an incomplete latch. They'll get tired out during feedings, or they will leave mom chafed, dry, raw, bitten, bruised, or bleeding. So for a lot of people, I think they end up having the baby, everything's fine, they go home with the baby, and then within the first couple of weeks, mom is noticing, the nipple stuff isn't going so well, it's flattening out, she can't find relief. Maybe baby's not gaining enough weight, or baby isn't able to open their lips to latch properly, and maybe at that point, it might be discovered that the baby has a tongue tie. We got lucky. Both of our girls' tongue and lip ties were discovered during their newborn exam, so we were able to get them revised pretty quickly for both. I have a theory that in the days before formula, it was a lot more important for us to release these ties. But then formula boomed in the late 1900s, so they stopped evaluating as much for oral ties. And I think that's why people in my age group are now like, oh wait, oral ties are a thing? Because now the revision of oral ties seems to kind of be making a comeback, or it seems to be getting more and more popular, more talked about, especially in the maternity and baby communities, because now people are switching back from formula and realizing the importance of having the baby on breast milk. I'm on camp fed is best, but I'm not gonna lie, breast milk I think is extremely important for infants. I digress. When baby A was born and I was told about her tongue and lip tie, they said, oh, it could help you with your breastfeeding relationship, and I was like, honestly, I don't want to do body modification on my infant daughter for the sake of breastfeeding until I know that there's a problem with breastfeeding. But then I was told that there are long-term benefits to releasing the tongue tie, or rather, there could be long-term consequences to leaving the tongue tie intact. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. I noticed that the problems that they were trying to avoid by releasing her tongue tie are problems that I have dealt with since childhood. Maybe because of my tongue tie. I didn't even know that I had a tongue tie until that happened, and then I Googled pictures of tongue tie. Again, have your safe search on if you're Googling frenulum. But I was like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to have that deedly in there? Really? Apparently most people can just swipe their finger under there? This is foreign to me. So now I'm kind of hopeful that a lot of stuff that I'm going through might relieve after I get it revised. This is the sheet that I have from my daughter's dentist, and these are the long-term improvements that they cite for getting the tongue or the lip tie released. Nutrition is improved, so they're able to eat better. reflux due to like swallowing air due to a poor latch. That improves. Drooling can diminish. Swallowing improves, especially when solids are introduced. Decreased risk for obstructive sleep apnea and related learning and behavioral difficulties. So I'm actually developing some sleep apnea like now, like real time. It's been picking up in frequency, and so I'm wondering if this could be related. Improved sleep patterns, decreased chance of speech problems, which I have a little bit of. I have a little bit of restricted movement, so I have trouble with some letters, like S's. Improved jaw growth and development, again, something I went through. My upper jaw was too narrow, so I had to get it expanded with a butterfly expander. But releasing the tongue tie means that every time the baby chews or swallows, the tongue is... I have to sneeze suddenly. Bless you. Thank you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the motion of the tongue helps expand that jaw and develop the jaw as the baby is growing up. But if you have a tongue tie, then that's not able to happen. So after my jaw got expanded, my lower jaw was then moved into place with the Herbst treatment. It's basically internal headgear. And that was because my lower jaw was pushed back my whole life because my top jaw wasn't wide enough to accommodate it. Fun. Decrease in dental cavities, and that's because your tongue is supposed to be able to get to all of your teeth in order to clean them. And ironically, when I've had cavities in the past, it has been at the place where you're supposed to reach your tongue for your tongue tie testing. Like my tongue has trouble getting there. So I'm not cleaning it with my tongue, so that's where I'm more likely to get cavities, and that's where I've gotten my cavities. The list goes on to say that frenectomies as a child prevent problems as an adult. So inability to open mouth widely can affect speech and eating. I have foods that I avoid because they're difficult to chew, and I have difficulty talking, like I said. Inability to speak clearly when talking fast, loud, soft. Clicking jaws, which I have. Migraine headaches. Welcome to my channel, Momming with Migraine. Make sure you hit subscribe. Jaw malalignment. So I don't know if I've told you guys about my jaw malalignment yet, but my jaw clicks on the left side and it dislocates on the right side. If I open it too wide, I don't know if you can see it jump there. It dislocates on this side, and then this side pops. I've been told that's not supposed to happen. I've been told that your jaw is supposed to, like, fit on your head. I can't see why. Effects in social situations, such as eating in public, kissing, relationships. No comment. Dental health is poorer. Sensitivity about personal appearance and stress. I'm not sensitive about my personal appearance, but I certainly hold a lot of stress and tension in my jaw and neck and shoulders. And actually, both of my daughters, when they were born, were holding themselves like this. You had to pry them to get their little arms to straighten, and then they still just held their shoulders all the way up to their ears. Once we got each of their tongue ties revised, they actually dropped in their shoulders. It was noticeable almost immediately. So I'm hoping that I will experience the same. I'm hoping that I will feel this relief in my neck and shoulders. And I know that that's, crazy wishful thinking, but it happened to the girls, so maybe it could happen to me. But the thing is, I'm so much older, so my muscles might stay where they are because they're so used to it by now. That makes me feel like it's not going to happen. But I have the benefit of, I just got pregnant and had the baby, so I have all this relaxin and my ligaments are still loose. I still have another few weeks postpartum before my ligaments and all that are even going to start to contract back to normal. So that makes me hopeful again. We'll see. I don't know, I'm freaking out and I just don't want it to hurt, and it's tomorrow, okay? And I'm not gonna sleep tonight. Let's just keep reading. I think there's one more. Tongue tie and lip tie can interfere with appliance therapy such as braces and space maintainers, and in the elderly with poor fitting dentures. I'll let you know how my dentures fit when I get there. I know that I've been interrupting the list to tell you about the symptoms that I have. I think you guys probably see by now that this could be promising. Now, to be totally fair, some of this stuff can be explained away. Like the migraine headaches, they do run in my family. But what if that's because tongue tie runs in my family? Or what if the tongue tie and the tension from it is triggering migraine? The other thing, TMJ and jaw soreness can be due to clenching or grinding your teeth at night. But the thing with me is that I don't have any evidence on my teeth of any grinding. If I'd been doing that my whole life, we would be able to see some flattening on my teeth. My dentist doesn't think that I'm doing that. As far as improper jaw development, That is irrefutable at this point. The fact that my jaws don't fit together, it's undeniable. My jaw has to move to the side. I have to do weird things to get like sandwiches in my mouth. So there's no explaining away the jaw stuff other than that it could just be coincidence. I do definitely have some restricted tongue movement. Like I have a really hard time getting to my back upper molars with my tongue. And when I have my mouth open, my tongue is not able to reach my top teeth, which apparently other people can do. Can you comment below whether or not you're able to do that? You open your mouth really wide and then you try to touch your tongue to the back of your top teeth. It doesn't reach, and I had to do the jaw jump thing to get it closed again. Ugh. I'm also developing sleep apnea right now, but that could be due to IIH, the pseudotumor cerebri that I'm going through. So again, that can be explained away. All the signs that I have are like strong maybes, but to me, it's a strong enough argument that I may as well. There's no reason to not go get evaluated. Interestingly, tongue tie is also associated with the MTHFR gene mutation, which I'm suspected to have and a lot of people in our Spoonie community have. That's another thing you could comment below. Who knows, but a lot of those symptoms overlap. I'm playing the accordion. I have health insurance and I have hit my deductible this year already because I had a baby, so this is the time to do it. It's a relatively minor procedure and it has a low risk profile, so it's not something that I feel like I need to weigh super heavily. And if they revise it and I have a really good improvement in the quality of my life, then I get to have a really good improvement in the quality of my life. So at this point, that's why I'm so eager to get it evaluated. A quick little FAQ about how the procedure is. I was actually in the room when they did it on my daughter, so all we did was swaddle her and then they used Velcro to make sure that she was really securely down. And then they used a laser and it just went zzz and zzz, and it was all over within about a minute or so. The baby, of course, didn't like it, but the baby already didn't like it just because anybody put their fingers in her mouth. So she was mad before the laser even touched her. And they don't numb the babies, but it is over very, very fast. It's hard to watch your little one go through that. But right after the procedure, they stuck us into a private room so that I could nurse her right away. It was as if all I did was change her diaper. Like, she was consolable immediately, and her latch was improved immediately. So we got a really good feed, and she was nice and comfortable, and we left, and everybody was fine. You have to do stretches afterwards, so that part is actually the hard part, because it also sucks doing that to your infant. And I'm not looking forward to doing it to myself either. The stretches are to make sure that your tissues don't reattach to each other where they just cut them. So you have to go and stretch it, or stretch this up over baby's nostril, just to make sure that everything heals in the open position, not heals back together. There was no bleeding because it was done by a laser, so it cauterized as it went. I think they do numbing for adults, but I think it varies based on the dentist. I've seen some people talk about getting topical numbing, and I've seen some people talk about getting a shot, like when you're getting a cavity filled. So I don't know. We'll see what my dentist does, or my ENT. Which brings me to the next question, who does this? For the daughters, it was their dentist. And for me, I'm going to an ENT who is a facial plastic surgeon. What is the cost? Again, that varies. For the girls, it was covered by our insurance and it was billed as an outpatient surgery, I believe. So we paid a percentage of the total hospital bill. Cost is going to vary wildly though, based on where you live, what your insurance plans are, and what your particular doctor or dentist does. I can't help you there. Is it too late? Apparently not, or at least it's never too late to ask. I'll find out. I'm going to go to the evaluation tomorrow and see what happens. But no, like my lactation consultant, she said that she got hers revised as an adult, and she said that she hasn't had a migraine since she got the procedure done. So I'm inclined to say no. No, it's never too late. But at the very least, it's never too late to go ask your doctor or your dentist. And finally, is it worth it? Well, that's up to you. For me, as a mom, for my babies, I felt like the risk was worth the potential benefit, just because I know that I suffer with a lot of the things that they say that this helps avoid. For adults, the few adults that I have talked to who have had it done have absolutely been thrilled that they got theirs done. So, based on a few anecdotal people that I happen to run into and talk to about tongue tie revision, yes, I would say it's potentially even worth it for adults. But I can't tell you from my own experience, and I can't tell you whether the risks for you will be worth the benefit for you. With all medical stuff, it's very personal. So I wish I could help you more, but it is what it is. I'm gonna wrap up here, and tomorrow I'm gonna go to my appointment, and then after the appointment, I'm gonna come and try to talk to you and see what happens. I might have just gotten it done, so I might have a hard time talking. I don't know. I'll see you on the other side. Wish me luck. Alright, it has been recommended that I get my tongue tie revised, and now my tongue is numb. I'm waiting for it to soak in more, and then the doctor will be back to do the procedure. It's so numb.